What up, Chip? Raider 3, Week 5, bench press. Today we had 10 reps at RPE 8. I attempted 185 pounds and it was very successful. Let's take a look. I will say it felt great. I felt like I could do more, although the last rep did look shaky. And I was working out with my roommate again, and he also acknowledged that in the moment, like I'm saying, it felt great. Watching it back, I'm surprised that it was my right arm that was below my left, even though I'm a righty. And this is something I was talking about with them. I think ever since I've broken my collarbone, like you can see this is sticking out where this one's flat. Like my left has been getting stronger than my right, I feel like. So that's just been like weird to go through. Like I'm saying, the set felt great. I remember at the start of the set feeling a little bit shaky until like rep 4 or 5. Then I was like, oh my God, this felt so easy. And even though on that 10th rep it did look like a grinder, I really did truly believe I had more in me. I think something about this programming that's been really awesome for me is I'm realizing I'm building so much more work capacity in my muscles, and that's all of them. I'm not going to list them, but that's all of them. Then for the back down sets, my first set, I did 160 for 10, focusing on controlling the eccentric and pausing at the bottom. I didn't really like how challenging it was, even though I had slowed it down a lot. So then the next two I had done 165. Not a big increase, but it is different. Let's take a look at the last set. I loved how that looked. I love the effort. I'm saying with the work capacity, I feel like these like grindy reps I'm able to like actually get out. Whereas before it was like I just didn't have it. It was like it was fine, and then I just didn't have it. But now I can really see that like my pace is slowing down and stuff. So that's been great. Another thing is on the 5th rep, you can see like I kind of rested a little bit. I nodded. I was like, I didn't like that. But those things happen. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end. Heading into rear delt flies from the last week, I was moving up the weight. Instead of working with 15 pounds, I was working with 20 pounds. I did 12, 10, 10 is what I wrote down, and then I had gotten to like 15 with some myo reps. It felt good. It felt heavy. I definitely feel like it's been going good. Coming from the reverse pec deck, I took like about 6 months just doing reverse pec deck. Now I'm doing half and half reverse pec deck, and with the dumbbells I'm really starting to feel stronger on the dumbbell movements, a better mind muscle connection as I did with the pec deck. I felt like my rear delts were pretty underdeveloped at the beginning of Raider, so doing it with the dumbbells just wasn't working for me. It didn't feel right. I felt like kind of like my scapula was taking over or something, or like my rhomboids, my back, whatever. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good place with these rear delt flies, and I'm excited to master these 20-pound weights because today it felt great. For the bicep curls, I'm still using 70 pounds on the preacher curl. I was disappointed in myself, and that thing happens. I'm not going to let it get to me, but I'm acknowledging I was disappointed in my performance. The previous week, I had done 12, 11, 10. This week, I only got 12, 9, 8. Not 100% sure why. I don't know if I was exhausted from something else, but we're going to keep working at it, and I'm going to eventually get that 12, 12, 12, and we're moving up to 80. You better believe it. For the tricep movement, I think last week on this, I was talking about I didn't know if I loved it, but I was going to stick with it. Working with 62.5 pounds because of that weird stack. I got 12 12 12, which is what I wanted, so I'm thinking I'm going to move up the weight. And this time I used the blue fat grips on the first two sets and then just no fat grip on the last. Something I was thinking about this session is that I'm going to deadlift tomorrow, and my grip strength has been was a factor last week, like I talked about, with the deadlift and with pull-ups after that. So I wanted to save myself a little bit, but it was a great sets of exercises for the tricep. Next we did lateral raises. I think I didn't warm up as well as I wanted to. Normally I like grab the 10, I do some Lou raises, I grab the 15, same. I'll grab the 20s or whatever and just like go to the side. This time I just did the 20s basically to the side, a little bit of Lou raises, and then I worked with the 30s. I did get 11, 10, 9, but my collarbone was like creaking and cracking. I just felt like I didn't really like warm up as well as I should have. But my roommate was like trying to work with pace a little bit, so I didn't want to really hold him up. Next we did push-ups. I did 20-20. This time I did not add another set because I felt pretty exhausted, which I'm happy about. I think maybe last time I was thinking that because I had come home, like I was saying, after I had a conversation with my buddy. But that's that. Now let's get into the ab work. Ab work, we're doing sit-ups. First set unweighted, 20, super easy. You grab that 2.5 pound weight and put it behind your head. Why is it so hard? I don't know. So I'm chopping this video together. As you can see, it's much later. My hair is not as wet. It's more like poofy now. And, why am I saying I don't know? I'm studying engineering, so I know exactly why it's so hard, especially when you put it behind your head. 2.5 pounds behind my head. I'm 5'11". Let's just round up to 6 feet. If I was talking to somebody in person, I'm not claiming I'm in the 6 foot club. This is just going to be easy math. Let's say I'm 6 feet. Let's say that my torso to feet ratio, whatever, it's the same, the top half to the bottom half. So let's call it 3 feet from my waist to tip of my head. And then so that's 3 feet times 2.5. That's 7.5 foot-pounds of a moment. That's why it feels so hard, Josh. I mean, put it at the chest. You're changing everything. Now I'm at 1.5 times 2.5. Totally different. And so that's the engineering behind why putting it behind your head, it's a longer lever. I mean, people know that, but now you know the calculation is going to be the length of the moment arm times the weight. But with the work capacity thing I was speaking on before with the bench press, I really am feeling like some of these reps on sit-ups I'm like grinding out, whereas before it was like I just couldn't get up. Now I can really feel this contraction, so that's been a lot of fun. I definitely have not mastered that 2.5 pound weight behind the head, but I'm coming for that 5 pound weight, so I'm going to master it soon. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about that 5th rep and me nodding no. What's a perfect game? They have it in baseball. They happen often. Maybe often was the wrong word here, but they do happen, and there's been a bunch. What's a perfect game in football? There's no games in football where somebody doesn't make like a mistake. Maybe a quarterback's perfect, maybe a receiver doesn't miss a target, but the whole team isn't going to be perfect. More recently I've been like gaming. I play some video games here and there. When I think of my sport, it's lifting. And I think of when I'm in the game, I'm playing Counter-Strike or whatever, never at any point do I expect to have a perfect game. When I think about lifting sometimes, I think like, oh, I'm going to have like a perfect lift. Like I'm going to have a perfect session, whatever it is. Maybe you'll have a perfect set. Maybe you'll have some perfect reps. Hopefully like half your workout is perfect or something, exactly how you expected. But nothing's ever going to be perfect. And how do we deal with that? Like I said on the bicep things, I was disappointed with myself. I'm not going to let it get to me because I know that I can't be perfect. Another thing, somebody was asking me, what do I like about the gym or lifting or whatever it is, training? And there's 1,000,001 things I like about it. I wake up in the morning excited to go lift. Like I want to lift first thing in the morning every single day. That's what I do. Something that I love about the gym is the freedom to fail. You think about a squat, if you're on a nice rack, like you have the freedom to fail. You have the pins and stuff. And in your life, like maybe if it comes to like a class that you're taking, Maybe you don't feel like you have that freedom to fail because there's a bit more pressure, but we can practice failure at the gym to see how we respond to it and how we react. Did I fail, quote unquote fail, when I only did 9 reps on the second set of my bicep curls instead of 11 like the week before? To me, yes. But I'm rolling with the punches and I'm okay with that. Do I expect on my last set to beat what I did last week? No, like I just proved to myself that I didn't have it. Am I gonna, leave the gym and say, oh, I'm exhausted or something, like I'm disappointed in myself, I feel bad, I don't want to continue? No, you just roll with the punches, and how I'm gonna react and respond is I'm gonna come back next week with a vengeance. You better goddamn believe it, and I'm really hopeful that I'm coming here and I'm talking to this camera and I'm telling it how I'm doing 12, 12, 12. That's my mindset, it's 12, 12, 12. I'm gonna get there eventually. I don't care how long it takes. That's all I have today. Deadlift tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.